Good evening, everybody. We are back to some Phoenix Wright this week. So I need to figure out exactly how I'm going to handle this game, but I think probably the way I'd like to do it moving forward, at least for the next little while, is I'll kind of take my my tab doesn't seem to want to work. So what I'll probably be doing is I'll try and take the Monday and the Wednesday for Phoenix Wright. And I think one of the advantages of that is I am less likely to get lost in terms of the overall case. But the catch for that is I'm not 100% sure that I could justify doing, I don't think I could really justify doing Monday, Wednesday, Phoenix Wright, sort of for now to the end of the whole series. So I think the idea here is going to be when I have an opportunity to do it 2 days sort of in a row, I'm going to weight the choice towards Ace Attorney. And then for, days where it might just be a one-off, I might try and do a different game on those days. And of course, as always, there's plenty of opportunities to sort of mess around and do different things. In fact, who was it? Revive Snow very kindly gifted a game to the stream that I think would be a good fit. And then there are just simply some things that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. But when somebody gifts something to the stream, I want to take that seriously. I never make the guarantee that I will play it, but I think it's good to try and, fit that in where I can. And of course, people seem to like the Ace Attorney series, so I will, I'll work with that where I can. And then, we'll figure out a bit of a balance as time goes by. I would feel a lot better if I can just kind of clear out the queue of things that I've been meaning to return to, so I can really sit down and maybe make some firm decisions in terms of what I'd like to see moving forward, because we are going to have a bit of time before the Traveling at Night game comes out. And it'd be nice to have a little bit more variety in terms of the broadcast. So probably I'll start thinking of that seriously once we finish Cyberpunk. And then, I don't know, even if I can get like a new game every day, that would be kind of fun. But we'll see. All right, let's open up Ace Attorney, which is a serious game for serious people. And if any of you laugh, it's inappropriate. I did also look up, I want to spend a little bit more time really diving into some neat facts out of it, but I have tried to look up some more Canadian legal facts for these streams. There's a couple of them were quite fun. All right, so I'm wondering why. There we go. One of the things that I think was kind of fun was being able to share not just the mascot Amicus, but to share sort of the children's activity book that the Supreme Court has. But of course, there's lots of different levels of. There's different levels of government. But even if we just focus on the judiciary, it depends on sort of the nature of. It depends on the nature of the law. There's federal, there's provincial. Of course, we're not always dealing with criminal law, although obviously it makes for the most dramatic out of all of them. I guess you don't really yell objection during some kind of a merger or something. And then the other one that I think has been kind of interesting. I don't think I can intelligently speak about it that much, but obviously in the States there have been some pretty big cases with very, very large law firms and the government, and essentially this idea of the sort of pressure that's being put on them and whether or not they follow through. And obviously there's a political dimension to that, which some people don't want to see inside of the Twitch streams or things like that. I mean, it's funny if you were to do a game about the law and then hear, why are you getting so political? But I get it, right? Like people don't necessarily want to have the same political points repeated over and over and over again everywhere they go. I'd like to think that maybe I'm trying to do something a little bit different from that, but whether or not people recognize it, will probably determine whether or not that's it's different enough for them. But the thing about those firms is that even if you go, even if you move aside from the actual action being taken against them and their decision to fight it or not, when you actually take a look at the size of those firms and what they do and sort of the history of them, it's really fascinating. So, you can ask some questions. Why are there no publicly traded law firms? Or are there publicly traded law firms? So far as I can tell, I don't think there are any in Canada or the US. But on the other hand, you have, these firms which clearly have outlived their founders, and they operate very much like a business. Now, they're partnerships, right? But as far as like a corporate structure is concerned, you can definitely see a few of these firms operating like a very, very large business. Now, whether or not you need access to capital or some of the other features, like I don't even know what sort of, how do I put it, like venture law would look like, right? Like if you want to sort of move up into one of those like mega white shoe law firms, do you do an initial public offering in order to be able to finance the truly awe-inspiring amount that gets spent on certain cases? It's an interesting question. It's one that I'm not really equipped to answer, but I think it's kind of, these are the things that in certain circumstances can sort of lead you to interesting trips to the library. I say this because when I was in Vancouver, before I went to university, I was working, but I was certainly curious about a lot of things, and I was curious beyond just Google it phase. So, sometimes if you're curious about something, you can do a Google search or you can go on Wikipedia and you find the answer and that's it, right? The curiosity has been tranquilized and you can move on with your day. But there's some things that can kind of stick with you. And in some case, right, these are probably the people who wind up giving the most helpful answers on Reddit. It's not just enough to know what the ideal, cup shape is for maximum coffee consumption and heat retention. I say that ridiculously, but there are actually glasses for whiskey that are specifically designed for maximum enjoyment of whiskey. So even that is not, it's made up for the specific instance I thought of, but you can actually go into communities which have dedicated glasses that are optimized across exactly, maybe not the heat, but across exactly those dimensions. But yeah, I was kind of interested in, so this is a typical sort of guy thing to be interested in, like, the financial markets, like what is the stock market? Why does it work? I wasn't even necessarily interested in investing per se, because I sort of perceived of stock investing as the sort of thing that you'd maybe see in like a 1980s movie with Learning to Fly playing on the background. And, there's people in suspenders who are working at, green and black terminals, entering in, maybe not share prices, but trades. And I sort of understood that involved very large amounts of money. So for instance, I believe, at least historically, you would trade, it would be weird to trade a single share. You would trade sort of lots of 100. But of course, there's, I guess, odd lots. And I think I'm assuming that if you saw that come across a trading desk, that would sort of signal that it was maybe someone not familiar or someone not part of the crowd. But again, I'm not super clear on that process myself. I've never even seen a Bloomberg terminal. But yeah, what I found on it was, like, I would go and, I read, there's kind of the usual suspects, right? So people who like Warren Buffett probably wind up reading The Intelligent Investor at some point. If they're really brave, they go and they pick up Securities Analysis. I believe Volume 2 is considered the canonical Ben Graham version. But for me, the thing that was crazy was that the Vancouver Public Library actually has the full CFA course. So there's 3 levels and like multiple volumes, and I just sort of sat down and read through them. That weren't the only ones that I was reading, but where I'm kind of going with this is that just about any given topic will give you lots and lots of opportunities to go deeper and deeper into what's going on. And I think law in particular offers you lots of different angles on a really, really interesting subject, an important subject. And if you want to go down the rabbit hole, you can. You definitely can go beyond, just beyond a wiki search, right? Because a wiki search isn't going to tell you to say, like, what would that look like if Paul Weiss went public, or something like Kravitz, Swaine and Moore, right? So that was a firm that I think had its origins in like electronics. I think they were, but the Kravitz system is something that has wound up informing a lot of other types of businesses. So like variations of the Kravitz system sort of seem to be working on the in consulting firms, like an Accenture or a Bain or something. But so I mean, that sort of stuff I find kind of interesting, just because again, there's its own set of rules, there's its own conventions. Not everything. Sometimes you'll look at things and you'll say, like, why isn't this working? So for me, to a certain extent, because I know a thing or two about databases, and obviously I've grown up with information technology. And certainly people who go into law are not necessarily dumb. I mean, I know some figures in law haven't exactly covered themselves in glory recently, but I imagine that was always true, and we only just recently started paying attention. But, to be able to look at things and say, like, Canada is experiencing these massive delays in things going to trial, and hearing that some of that is being driven by sort of very old-fashioned filing systems or techniques, like the idea that things may not be as digitized as you might think. In some cases, you really are working with antiquated systems where there should be some kind of investment or some sort of time put into converting. But on the other hand, there are often very good reasons why these changes haven't necessarily happened. So for a very long time, this may still be true, some major banks were still operating on COBOL. And it's just one of these things where it is less costly for those banks to bring in, a handful of COBOL experts, because this is not just something that is, has like a solid grounding, but it actually has the benefit of having survived the test of time, right? Like the major catastrophes have not happened. And so, yeah, I mean, you're a bank, I actually got to learn a little bit about the IT budget for a bank from a friend. It's utterly staggering. Just in terms of one of the ones I was specifically thinking of. So yeah, like the cost of bringing in some COBOL programmers, even if they completely soak you, like it is almost certainly going to be like a rounding error in terms of those costs. So, again, if these well-capitalized firms find it more valuable to, maintain these legacy systems, or at least formerly, I know there are a few efforts. I think IBM was leading one of those efforts to remove the COBOL from some banking systems. But again, it's just a question of, where do you put your resources? Where do you put your time? And I think in some cases it's a very sensible choice, to build new things rather than rewrite old ones. And I guess what I'm trying to say out of that is that there's a very rational decision being made by a lot of better financed firms that have kind of implicitly made the same choice. Obviously, banks don't have some of the same delays that the legal system in Canada does, so it's not a perfect analogy. But again, sitting down and asking the question, why are things the way that they are? And sometimes when they're breaking, or sometimes when they are, when they're going right, but you just kind of wonder how these things work. Actually, another one for me that I kind of like is I like the movie Michael Clayton, where the main character is a lawyer, but he doesn't really practice law. But all of the machinations in it are essentially an absolutely major law firm, the sort of place that lives and dies on the basis of enormous cases. And you know, it's very interesting to kind of have a peek on the world like that. All right, objection. The streamer is too good at what he does. I move to strike his insanely good banter from the record. Well, that's very kind of you to say, Algrins. I don't exactly feel like God's gift to streaming on most days, but it is always nice to see friendly faces in the chat or friendly text. I know I've been chatting for a bit, but 15 minutes kind of see. I used to do a timer, and then I see other streams doing timers. I'm sort of like, what's the real point, right? Like, you know, are people really going to sit around, like, you know, at least put a Yule log on or something? Yeah, I don't know. It feels slightly better to do you know, some kind of chat at the beginning. I know it's terrible for YouTube, but it's nice to warm everyone up. And if people are around to hear it, great. If people aren't around to hear it, well, that's fine too. It's not like they missed anything major. All right, on to Turnabout Samurai, Day 1 Investigation. Ah, you have disgraced me for the last time. Oh, the pale moon in the sky cries for your blood. The moon? No, it is you who should gaze upon the moon, for it will be the last moon you ever see. See you in hell, even magistrate. Ah! The warrior swords gleam and strike in the moonlight. One has fallen, but who? Only the moon knows. Don't miss next week's exciting episode, The Dark Messenger Returns. October 14th, 5:31 p.m., Wright & Co. Law Offices. That is part of why I watch you. I don't think I've ever actually played an Ace Attorney game. What evil lurks in the hearts of samurai? The shadow knows. Yeah, well, I kind of accept. I know most people say that they tend not to have the video up and they tend to use it as a podcast. I do like trying to make some kind of progress through the game, but I think the big one for me was that, I think I mentioned this too. I went to try and take a peek at Doom the Dark Ages, and I watched 3 big streamers just because I was sort of like, you know, this might be educational, right? What are they doing? With the benefit of a large audience, they're showing off, you know, a highly anticipated game, day 1. What are they doing? And like 2 of them were on a pause screen, nowhere at all. Thousands of people watching them, literally nothing happening on the screen. And then one of them was doing what I do, like just chatting with people. And I personally find nothing wrong with that, right? But you know, people definitely treat it differently depending on your size. And I get why, right? Like it's you know, there's obviously the social validation of lots of people watching. But if nothing else, it made me feel a little bit better because there are people who do actually appreciate it. And the thing is that I've never really been given some evidence that if I just focus on gameplay, like especially if I play gameplay in silence, I mean, gameplay in silence is not a great comparison case, but yeah, most of the cases where I do push along the game a little bit more, like I really haven't seen any evidence that those people stay anymore, right? So, yes, I do appreciate that sometimes the digressions can get a little excessive, but I hope for the most part people find the ride worthwhile, right? I'll take advantage of the inoffensive Canadian accent. And Doom Dark Ages takes a lot of focus to play at higher difficulties. Actually having to play the game and coherently chat seems like a rough time. You're making me want to change the game, Ulgrins. That rocked! See you in hell, evil magistrate. Oh, stop waving that broom around. Oh, Nick, I didn't know you were here. Of course I'm here. What was that surreal show you were watching? What? Nick? You mean you don't know the Steel Samurai? He's only the most popular TV hero for young people. Young? Like how young? 10 years old? Then what the heck are you doing getting all excited? Hey, I'm only 17. That's 17, see? I'm a teen, not like you, Nick. Hey, don't talk to me like I'm your grandpa or something. I'm only 24 myself. I've been playing Doom DA, but sparingly because most of the time I just want to relax and Doom seems to wind you up. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, I did do a little bit of the prologue in I think I played the one where you have like limited lives. Definitely the damage is quite high. Then watch it with me. He's really cool and it's really popular. When they asked grade school kids what they wanted to be, Steel Samurai was #1. I really worry about kids these days. I do too. My university was awesome, and then they let all these youths in. Glad I never was one. Gramps! Well, the Steel Samurai's over. I guess it's time to close up the office. I guess... wish we had some clients. A month has passed since my trial. Mia's murder was the talk of the town for some time, but no one paid any attention to the Wright & Co. law offices. How am I going to pay the rent this month? It'll be okay. I'm sure some big client is just around the corner. October 16th, 8:14 a.m. Phoenix Wright's bedroom. Ring, ring. Hello? Is this Phoenix? Nick? Maya? What? It's still early. It's the Steel Samurai! The Steel Samurai got arrested! Huh? You mean the guy on that show? Yes! They're saying that the Steel Samurai killed a villain! Isn't that what he's supposed to do? Yeah, on TV! Yeah, on TV. No, I mean he actually did it in real life! He skewered a villain with his samurai spear. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Just come to the office, quick. Please, Nick. October 16th, 9:22 a.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. Maya's here, watching television. Now for the morning news. The actor Will Powers was arrested yesterday. Powers plays the lead role in the popular kids show Steel Samurai, Warrior of Neo-Old Tokyo. He was arrested on suspicion of murder. The victim was Jackhammer, who played the villain known as the Evil Magistrate. His body was found still inside the Evil Magistrate costume. The samurai spear was also found stuck through the body. Police believe this was the murder weapon and are investigating further. This has to be a joke. No, no, no! It's a nightmare! The Steel Samurai is over! The world is over! Yes, Wright & Co. offices. What? Nick! It's the Steel Samurai! What? Yes, yes, of course. We'll be right there. Let's go, Nick. Go? Go where? They have the Steel Samurai down in detention. So what? So, I've decided this will be our first case. His favorite potted plant. Maya has been watering it so much lately it looks a little swollen. She's either trying to make it grow, or she's perfecting her water torture technique. It's a nice day outside. The hotel across the way is always full these days. Excuse me, there's the bellboy happily cleaning the room. A poster of an old movie that Mia liked. I was thinking I should go see it myself. Then I realized that the poster doesn't actually say the title of the movie. What do you think? To Kill a Mockingbird? 12 Angry Men? The Verdict? Better Call Saul? There's a horrendous amount of legal books here. Scarier still is the thought that I have to read all of these now. Mia's desk. Actually, it's my desk now. Sitting here always makes me feel like a professional. Actually, it did occur to me there might be a There might be a... I'll just look at the... I feel like this should be an emote or something. I should share... I can't even remember why I read this, but the first place I found out about GNU Cash, C-A-S-H, the accounting software, was actually on a website for like lawyers starting their practice. And I'm trying to remember why I was on that site. Anyways, to detention. October 16th, detention center. Visitor's room. Well, hello, Hugh Jackman. What's wrong, Maya? It's him, in the flesh. Is that guy really him? What do you mean, that guy? Of course it's him. Will Powers, our client. That's him. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. But he definitely did it. Murder, at least once, maybe twice. Oh, whoa, whoa. What are you saying? Yes? Something wrong? No. This is getting off to a great start. I know. You're disappointed, aren't you? Disappointed? Oh, no. No, it's okay. It's the real me. When I got the part of the Steel Samurai with that mask, I decided I would never show my face in public until the job was over. It's the kids, you know? I didn't want to wreck their dreams. Oh. Guess it didn't matter. So much for the dreams. I wonder what they think of the Steel Samurai now. Nick? What? He's a good guy. I mean, he's good. Yeah. He didn't do it. Smile for the camera. This guard monitors the visitor's room. He seems frozen in awe of Will Powers. Maybe you could start by telling us what happened. Yes, of course. It seems like it was only yesterday, actually. It was only yesterday. The cast had come down to Global Studios for a run-through. And then we went through a few action sequences at 10 in the morning. There was a rehearsal scheduled for 5 in the afternoon. But when 5 came around and the staff gathered at the studio, the evil magistrate was found lying in a crumpled heap near the set. Exactly, Algren. They included the hole and everything. They took off his mask and discovered that it was Jackhammer, dead. He'd been expertly skewered with the samurai spear. The samurai spear? Yes, it's a long spear that the Steel Samurai, uses as a weapon. Maybe you could explain to me just what the Steel Samurai is. Nick, how could you say such a thing? I'm sorry, sir. I apologize for my partner. He's new at this and a bit out of touch with the world. Hey, who's new to this? No, it's all right, really. The Steel Samurai is the lead character in a popular kids show. He walks the streets of Neo-Old Tokyo, fighting battle after battle against the evil magistrate and his minions. Of course, he never really defeats the evil magistrate, although I guess he did defeat him this time. I see. Neo-Old Tokyo? Who comes up with these names? They read your mind, Algrins. Now, where were you on the day of the murder? Well, that morning I came to the studios at 9 o'clock. We worked through some action scenes until noon. Rehearsal was to begin at 5, but I was a little tired. So after lunch, I took a nap in my dressing room. When I woke up, it was after 5. I was late for the rehearsal. I hurried to the studio and found everyone looking shocked. They arrested me on the spot and brought me here. I really have to wonder exactly what what due process looks like in this world. So I was sleeping the entire afternoon of the murder? Some action, hero. What will the kids think? I think I should probably check out the scene of the murder. Right. Global Studios. I'll draw you a map. Wow, Nick, let's go! I'm willing to bet $10 she asks for autographs. October 16th, Global Studios main gate. Wow, so this is where they make the Steel Samurai show. Awesome. Aren't you excited? Hey, you there. You want in? You gotta go through me. Oh, sorry. We're, lawyers. Oh, yeah? Well, that's great. I'm security. And it's my job to make sure you gawkers like you stay out. Gawkers? Gawkers, sightseers, tourists. I know the type. You heard about the incident and came to snoop around. Youths today. Something horrible happened. Good God. So I love that rant, but there's no possible way I was going to be able to read that. Nick, will I grow up to be like her? Please say no. I don't know. It's possible. Hey! Listen to your being spoken to. Youths today. The computer that runs the studio's security cameras. Hey! No touching! Rouge-like girl, good to see you. How you doing? The security guard station. That security lady must like junk food. There's a mountain of it on the desk in there. I can see the computer that runs the security cameras. An overhead map of the studios. Right from here is the employee area. To the left are the actual film studios. The main entrance to the studio. There was a big scene here yesterday with onlookers pressing up against the gate. Looks like a studio van. They probably use it to carry around film equipment. So, what do you do here at the studios? At Global Studios, we make children's dreams come true. In fact, in my younger days... No, you were a star? Only a little twinkle between the stars here, I'm afraid, dearie. Well, wow. This place has really gone downhill, you know. But 10 years ago, now that was a studio of dreams. Hammer was a big star back then, too. He was... Hammer? The victim, dummy. The evil magistrate. He's been reduced to playing villains now. Not exactly the best material to work with. Yes, if there's anything we know is that people have no interest whatsoever in villains in stories. Can you tell me about Mr. Will Powers? It's not a bad kid, but don't be fooled by his mask. You wouldn't want him on the silver screen without it, believe me. Little old ladies watching would lose their lunch. That's probably why he thought of the Steel Samurai was his big chance. No one thought he was capable of doing what he did to poor Jackhammer. We don't know for certain that Will Powers is guilty. Powers? Of course he's guilty. How do I know? I know everything. That's my job. What kind of person was Jackhammer? What kind of person? Oh, if you only knew. Jackhammer will live on in the hearts of many as the ultimate action hero. He was simply dashing in the Dynamite Samurai series. Should I have heard of that? But there was an accident during filming 5 years ago. He got an unlucky break after that. reduced to playing the villain on a children's program. What's more, I heard they were paying him peanuts. It's enough to make you cry. Why are you so certain Mr. Powers is the killer? I was standing right here yesterday, I was here from 1 in the afternoon to 5 when they found the body. Now, the studio where the murder took place is to the left here. So if you want to go to the studio, you have to pass by me. Only one person went by here between 1 and 2:30 when the murder took place. And that person was Mr. Powers? Yes, I saw him. But Mr. Powers says he was sleeping in his dressing room. Oh, I'm sure he would say that. He's no fool. But he was the only one that walked by. He's the killer. You can bet your biscuits on it. Isn't it about time for you to be heading home? There's nothing to see here. Move along. Actually, we're here about Mr. Powers' request. I thought you were suspicious looking. Show me a letter of request. And maybe I'll just let you in. This lady here thinks she owns the place, obviously. I'm actually not sure about that, Algrins, but that's my guess. So if we go to the court record, we just have the attorney's badge right now. If we present, yeah. So it could be an indication we've got some kind of progress in the story as well. Hello, how was the studio? They all think I did it, don't they? No, not at all. Isn't that right, Nick? Right, not at all. At worst, you're a suspect. Mr. Powers, you aren't hiding anything from me, are you? What? No, I'd never do that. Earlier you said that you were sleeping in your dressing room after lunch. Yes, like a baby. But the security lady says that she saw you that day. She says she saw you heading towards the scene of the crime. What? That's not possible. I really don't know what to say. I was sleeping, I promise. Mr. Powers, if you want me to help you, you have to tell me the truth. I'm new to this lawyer business, and I need every advantage I can get. I know, I'm sorry. But I swear to you on my mama's grave, I was sleeping. Maybe the security lady only thought she saw me. What did she see? He doesn't seem to be lying. So I will share one of the lawyers that I sort of like following. I think it's mostly because he definitely has a pretty decent wit. It's Ken Wright, and there's a couple podcasts that he's involved in, and then he tweeted under the name Popat, but I believe he has since moved to Blue Sky. And he actually, I don't know if this is his main practice. He talks quite a bit about the sort of free speech issues, it feels like, but he has a podcast called Make No Law, but he also has one with Josh Barrow. So it's called All the President's Lawyers. I believe Josh Barrow used to work for KCRW for a while. He was the host of Left, Right, and Center, and I believe there was something that he did with Ken Wright for that station as well. He was one of the people who kind of went independent on Substack, and is basically you can subscribe to the premium versions of the podcast. I did subscribe for a while because I actually quite liked Barrow's writing. The only thing was that I subscribed to his mostly serious project, and he just kind of stopped doing podcasts, and that was the reason why I sort of signed on. So it was one of these things where I sort of paid for something and then didn't actually get the goods delivered. So it's the one reason I haven't followed through on All the President's Lawyers, which is or is it still called All the? I feel like they've changed the name actually. Just give me a second here. Sorry, it's called Serious Trouble. So I'd recommend it if it sounds like the sort of thing that you're be interested in. But I think one of the things that I really appreciate about listening to some of his views, he is a practicing lawyer, so he will talk occasionally about some things like how, well, actually, first of all, Barrow usually trolls him, asking if Michael Avenatti is a good lawyer, because apparently Ken Wright had a bit of a spat with Michael Avenatti, who people may know as the lawyer for a woman named Stephanie Clifford, who may be better known to some of you as Stormy Daniels. But Avenatti was the one who sort of took a lot of money from his clients and I believe tried to sort of shake down Nike for some sort of payment. Anyways, he's in jail now. But I remember there was a really funny exchange where, like, he said, Avenatti said something like, I'm living rent free in your head or something like that. And apparently, the timestamps on this are brilliant, because apparently, like, White just almost immediately replied, like, well, it'd have to be rent free, wouldn't it? I'm like, oh God, I really wish I have that kind of wit if I'm in a situation like that. But the thing that I kind of like is he does kind of talk a bit about some of the practical challenges. And I think occasionally they do talk about, being a good defendant. Like, what do you do if somebody, if you have to go see a lawyer or you have some kind of case brought against you. There's the usual thing. Like, I think there's a bunch of videos talking about staying quiet. But what I thought was most interesting was the lawyer's perspective when Ken Wright was talking about it. This is relevant to the alibi here, by the way, which is this idea of being truthful with the lawyer, right? And sort of the first meetings with a lawyer sort of being an opportunity to sort of kind of take the measure of everyone. And how there can be a bit of a challenge as a lawyer where you will build a defense, and if your client is not honest with you, that can lead to sort of discoveries, or that can lead to cases where the entire defense is demolished by a piece of evidence, coming to light. Like, if effectively the defense is going to do, they're kind of paid to get the best possible outcome for you. Now, in some situations, right, that can mean a better plea deal than, you would have gotten if you'd represented yourself. I don't think there's a lot of cases where somebody goes in saying, I did it and I'm glad I did it, to a lawyer's office, and the result is, I'm going to make sure you get off scot-free. And part of that's just because, the Crown sort of knows that they need to bring a really, really solid case to do it, right? There's that whole idea of beyond reasonable doubt. But what I like beyond that, right, that's easy to say, but I imagine that, if you find yourself in some sort of legal proceeding, that's already going to be a period where you have, like, emotions are running high, you're probably not thinking very straight. This lawyer is a complete stranger, and you may not feel entirely comfortable giving them all of the details at the time, even though it is in your best interests to do so. How many times do we behave rationally even when we're not, experiencing possibly the worst day we'll ever experience? Yes. Yeah, no, that's exactly the ones I'm thinking about. I'm trying to keep it system chalk like. But yeah, it was kind of interesting for him to talk about how, when he was kind of describing a little bit for him when he's first meeting a client, how there's sort of this acknowledgement that he will not necessarily be getting the full story at the start, and that's kind of the part of that's part of someone sort of processing the situation that they're in. But of course, the catch is that there can be fairly direct consequences for that lack of candor. So in any case, like, I was definitely interested in the alibi idea here, right? That there may actually be, I don't know if this is something that the game plays with later, but the idea that, you know, either because there's definitely cases where I can imagine where basically the client thinks they're the smartest person in the room. I'm assuming the prosecution loves people like that. But yeah, just I don't know. It strikes me that would be kind of a fun approach in this, where you actually have to contend with the fact that your client hasn't been entirely honest with you because they're either embarrassed or they, you know, they think they can get away with it. All right. About the security guard at the main gate of the studio. Oh, the security lady? She's terrible. She called me suspicious looking. Yes, actually, she said the same thing to me before. Take off that mask, were her words, I believe. She sucks up to all the bigwigs at the studio. But let her see you stumble once and she'll never let up on you. Ugh, she's got some nerve. Do you think you could write up a letter formally requesting my representation? Of course. Powers' request added to the court record. Or Powers is... I believe Strunken White says that you put an apostrophe S after the S, but to me it looks weird. I've always done the apostrophe with no second S. What do you do, chat, when you have an S? Do you Will Powers? Do you do Will Powers apostrophe S, or do you do Will Powers apostrophe? I just hope this will get me past that security lady. All right, you do it the way I do it. Ma'am, have a look at this. It's a letter of request from Mr. Powers. Hmm? Yes, I recognize the bold, childish scrawl. Powers' request given to the security lady. To think he would entrust his fate to youths of such unreliable appearance. Really? Really? Anyway, you may pass, but only left from here toward the studios. No going to the right. That's the employee area. No one allowed inside, pal, were my instructions. The good detective told me himself. Hey, Nick. What? There are maps in the security guard station. Hey, not bad. Those are 50 cents a piece, thank you. Well, time to go, Nick. 50 cents! October 16th, Studio 1 entrance. Hey! Aren't you that murderer from the other day? Ah! It's that confused detective. Hey, pal, you know Prosecutor Edgeworth is all upset, and it's your fault. I saw him sipping tea and staring gloomily out the window. So? Hey! If he's depressed, it's all your fault for doing sloppy detective work. Detective? I think you hurt his feelings. Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, I think his feelings are easily hurt. You're right, pal. It's all my fault. I can blame other people all I want, but I know the truth in my heart. Hey, don't take it so hard. There's always the next case. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Hey, what exactly are you two doing here? Well, we're on this case too, pal. Huh? Hey, you can't just go around saying pal like that. That's my endearing character trait. I'd say he's a character, all right. studio mascot. I guess it's a monkey of some kind. What kind of monkey has a nose like that? He's holding a sign in his hand. Right to Studio 1, left to Studio 2. Wait, really? Because I see... Or, I guess it's from my perspective. What's up with that thing? It looks kind of busted? Oh, the wind was pretty strong yesterday and the head broke off. Took that tree down with it, too. Detective Gumshoe? What's down the path to the left? Looks like a tree fell down over the path. Oh, yeah. That way's kind of dangerous. You should stay out, pal. There's nothing down there anyway. That's where Studio 2 used to be, they tell me. They don't use it now, though. I'm a little bushed. Maybe I'll take a short rest here. Hey! Good idea, pal. Detective, aren't you on the case? Well, yeah, but... Hey, us detectives get tired of standing around too, pal. Hey, there's a camera here. That's a security camera. It takes photos of people going to the studio. All you have to do is look at the data and you can see who went there. There's a number plate on the camera. ST1307. That must be the camera ID number. There's a big welcome sign above the path. Yeah, apparently the studio's fallen on tough times. They've started letting in people on days they aren't filming. They make a bit of extra money by charging for admission. Huh. You sure know a lot about the place, detective. You know, you could always quit being a detective and work here. Yeah, what a perfect timing with the studio mascot down for the count. Huh? Just what's that supposed to mean, pal? The entrance to Studio 1. This is the studio where they found Jackhammer's body. Let's go in and check it out, Nick. Hey, it's locked. Looks like you need a card key to get in. Makes sense that they would want to keep the non-employees out. So how's your investigation going, detective? Well, it's... Hey, I can't tell you that, pal. So I heard something, I don't know if this is true or not, Algrins, but I've actually heard that apparently cameras don't necessarily identify through faces, but apparently it is more reliable to identify someone through their gait, which strikes me as a little more true just because if you, like, I try and think of all of the video camera footage that I've seen, and there are very few instances where I can make out a really clear face, but I can definitely see situations where, you know, it's like, obviously the way someone is walking is more, like, that's something that you can sort of see from a few different angles. Now, I don't know how unique that is compared to, like, it's hard to imagine that as being like a complete fingerprint. But it's an intriguing idea, if true. Huge if true! Alright, anyways, hey, I can't tell you that, pal. Nick, maybe you need to be a little more indirect with your questions. Right, so, detective, mind if I take a look at what you got? What I got? The autopsy report, the latest version, if you please. Right. Sorry about what happened last time, pal. Time of death, 15th at 2:30 p.m. Caused, pierced through the chest by a spear. Now, I wish I knew what time the windstorm was. All right. How was Mr. Powers arrested? Simple, pal. The murder took place right over there in Studio 1. Now, the victim entered Studio 1 at approximately 1 p.m. And at that time, there was no one other than the victim in the studio. According to the autopsy report, the time of death was 2:30 p.m. Only one person went to the studio between 1 and 2:30, and that person was none other than Will Powers. No one else, pal. Do you think I'm lying? Ask the security lady at the main gate. Nick, if that's true, anyone would think that Powers did it with that kind of evidence. Thanks for cheering me up. About the security lady. Oh, that sweet old lady? What a charmer. Huh? Are we talking about the same person? When I showed her my badge, she gave me a donut and some coffee. Speaking of. Remember what Powers said? She's always a sucker for authority. She gave me a piece of valuable evidence. What? What kind of evidence? Well, that her photo. Photo of the steel samurai heading towards the scene of the crime. What? Who took that? See the camera up on that gate, pal? Gate? You mean the one with the welcome sign? Yeah. Whenever someone walks by, that camera automatically snaps a photo of them. Oh no! Nick, he has evidence. We're finished. Funny, for someone with hard proof, he doesn't look too happy. What's wrong, pal? You seem down. You look so happy when you say that. Oh! We'd like to ask the employees here some questions. Sure thing, pal. Go wherever you like. Of course, you're not going to find any clues I haven't already found. I'm glad someone around here seems to be enjoying themselves. Nick, let's go. We got a free pass to the place. Now's our chance to check things out. Okay, so I don't think it said the specific time. Onward! Oh, hang on. Let's go in and check it out, Nick. Hey, it's locked. It's like you need your card key to get in. Makes sense. Okay, so I guess we need to go back to Algren's favorite character. Nick, look! That security lady is in the guard station stuffing her face with donuts. I guess all cops like their donuts. Yeah, and they're soft enough she doesn't need teeth to chew them. Hey, you! Well, are you satisfied Powers is guilty yet? She had to make my life harder by giving that photo to Detective Gumshoe. Why didn't you tell us about the security photo, ma'am? Hmm? Oh, that? I just thought it would be more thrilling to talk with the detective himself. These things are important, you know. Oh, just to the left from here is the gate with a camera that took that photo. It's my job to check the photos every day, you see? This guard station is in a central position. No matter where you go here, you pass by my station first. Now, poor Hammer, he went to the studio just before 1. The murder happened right around 2:30, see? The only one I seen go through here between 1 and 2:30 was Powers himself. The security camera got a good look at him, too. If he's not the one that did it, I don't know who is. Maybe it was you? Yuck, 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 yuck. Good one, Sonny. She thinks I was joking. Was the victim, Mr. Hammer, a popular actor? Oh, he was the biggest star in the studio. Was? Past tense? Well, yes, he was as great as the bearded samurai. That too, yes. He shone the brightest back in the day. Making a star like him play the evil magistrate. It's a disgrace, I tell you. Hammer took it pretty hard. And who can blame him? About the security camera. Oh yes, the camera. It's automatic. It can tell when someone walks through the gate, see? And it snaps a photo. Apparently, it records the time when it takes a picture, too. But I don't bother myself with those details. I just view all the photos on the computer over in the security guard station. I check them every day before going home, I do. computer that runs the studio security cameras. Hey, no touching! Okay. October 16th, Global Studios employee area. Nick! This is where they do all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Hey, look! There's Power's dressing room. No one's here this soon after the murder, I guess. Let's take a look around. A window in front... a window into the dressing room. The glass is frosted, so I can't see inside. Let's see. Cola, candy, chips, gum. Huh. It's so normal. I was expecting some cool theme snacks or something. Popcorn, at least. Wait, look. Samurai soda. Nick, try this. Ladies first. The remains of yesterday's lunch are scattered around. Everyone was probably too shocked to clean up. There's a T-bone on one of the plates, minus the steak. T-bone steak. That would have hit the spot. You just had a burger. Yeah, but I have a second stomach just for steaks. What? There's a sign by the dressing room door. Will Powers. It must be neat to be the star and have your own room like this. Yeah, they used the special kind of scotch tape. That must be the storage room. That's where they keep all the film equipment. Wow, Nick, you know a lot about the industry. What else would they keep in a film studio? The door to the dressing room. It's not locked. Hey, Nick, let's take a look inside. Maybe we can find something as a souvenir. What do you mean, find? You never know. There might be something like the samurai spear. We don't need a spear. That's the murder weapon, for crying out loud. October 16th, Global Studios dressing room. Power's dressing room. So this is where he was sleeping? Or at least, this is where he claims he was sleeping. No one actually saw him taking a nap here, did they? Right, and there's a picture of him near the crime scene. I hope he's telling the truth, for his sake. It's locked. Looks like he doesn't open his window much. I guess it's kind of dusty outside. Looks like someone was sleeping here. Maybe Powers did take a nap here yesterday. I can tell by the folds that it's he was asleep from exactly 1 to 2:30. I was gonna say, yes, your own room with a but yeah, I didn't have my 11th nameplate. When I worked in like in the camera department, I know one of the things I needed to do when setting up a project was like we'd have the slate. So I'd always have sort of an analog slate. I actually still have it. So if I ever want to be obnoxious and clap the sticks, I can do that. But like the thing is, it's like a whiteboard basically. But usually what would happen, there's going to be the sound department and they'll have a special slate which they hook into their audio equipment, right? And they'll sync it up and make sure everything's working the way that it should. Weirdly enough, like the actual clap isn't as important when you have that extra material. However, if the tech isn't working, it sure is nice to see something that you can sort of sync up the sound with. But anyways, so usually what will happen with those is, again, they'll have sort of something like a whiteboard on them, but nobody ever actually uses that. What usually happens is that you'll cover it in Velcro, and then you'll kind of hire a place to do sort of a nice, I guess, kind of fiberglass-like, or sorry, what's the material I'm thinking of? Well, whatever. Anyways, some basically like you'll have a special slate design, and sometimes you'll be given some art. Sometimes you're sort of left to your own devices, but usually you make sort of like a custom slate. Like like the thing is that was one of my first like real jobs, so I look at the cost of making something like that. I'm like, why would you spend money on something like that? That's wasteful. And it's like, obviously it's not what I'm not paying out of pocket for that, right? That's just getting billed to the production company. And of course, realistically, right, the person who's handling all of that is dealing with just, far more money than they're ever getting. Like nobody would even question. I'm pretty sure they could raise the price like, 30% and nobody would even question the cost. There's just other stuff to look at. But yeah, I remember that being like the first impression that I had. Why the hell did I bring this up again? Oh yeah, no, the nameplates. But yeah, likewise, one of the tricks for like the named chairs is that there'll be sort of like a fabric backing, so you can basically get the fabric back. Like you can basically get these interchangeable backs, so that if the actor isn't there or the director, well, the director's probably going to be there because they should be there. There are some who I can think of who do. Yeah. I think it's reasonably well known. The most notorious one I ever heard was Bryan Singer on X-Men 2, who like apparently just sort of walked off and got his like hair dyed, but like was like gone for hours. And presumably he did something, I think, getting his hair dyed or whatever. But he's like the Wonderkind who had done the X-Men movie, so nobody really questioned him on it. Anyways, that was one that I heard. And then I was trying to remember, there was some other story that I heard about. These are all like long after the fact, right? But there was God, I wish I remembered the name. But yeah, there's apparently another one who just kind of went AWOL. But again, it's just sort of they're able to do it, like they weren't replaced. So I don't know. Makes me feel like I have better work ethic by comparison. Anyways, maybe Powers did take a nap here yesterday. There's a bunch of snacks on the table. They must give these to the employees. Some tea and cookies. Ick, I'm hungry. You just had a burger. Yeah, but I have a separate stomach for sweets. How many stomachs does this girl have? This must be Powers' bag. Hey, don't open that. Look! An employee card key. This must be Powers. It says Studio 1. For the drool puddle, he must have been napping for exactly 12 minutes and 33 seconds, maybe 10 minutes if he was properly hydrated. Let's take it, Nick. Borrow it. You mean borrow. Card key added to the court record. I wonder what else is inside Powers' bag. Stop that! My partner, the thief in training. They always have mirrors like this in dressing rooms. I see my hair is still nice and spiky. Just how I like it. There's a vast array of cosmetics here. Ooh. This is the wig he used in Samurai Boogie Woogie. Nick, try this on. No. And how can you tell the name of the show just by looking at a wig? I kind of like samurai movies. Kinda. There's some regular suits among the costumes here. Those must be his own clothes. It'd be fun to wear one of the costumes. I'd say you were already wearing one myself. Yeah, I was gonna say, given the fact that there's this, like, even if you, like, the I suppose now that we know the security guard said that the what's it, Powers walked by, it sort of makes a little more sense that he was arrested. But like the way that they described the scenario at the start was sort of like, excuse me, yeah, the guy played his enemy in a TV series, so we figured that, you know, he was the most likely suspect. And it's like, wait a minute, how does this work? And then there's like that moment in the previous one where the guy's like, you only get one more question and then your character is found guilty of murder. But again, it's a very serious game. We need to take it seriously. No laughing. This is the studio where they found Jackhammer's body. Let's go ahead and check it out, Nick. I wonder if this card key we borrowed from the dressing room will work. It opened. All right, we're in. She is way too happy for someone visiting a crime scene. I thought the detective was going to have something to say about this. October 16th, Studio 1. What is it? Real quiet all of a sudden. Doesn't it give you the shivers, Nick? That white tape, it's so real. Well, the evil magistrate did die here. And the steel samurai killed him. The murder weapon was the samurai spear. Sounds pretty real to me. Wow, look at that camera. It must cost a ton. Yeah, so don't touch it. Oh, it's heavier than I thought. Oh, Jesus. Hey, you! No touching that. Sorry. My partner kind of, don't I? No, I don't know. Who are you? Oh, me? I'm an assistant here. Help with the props and stuff, moving them around, ordering new ones, etc. We're lawyers representing Mr. Will Powers. Oh, you're WP's people. WP? Oh, WordPress. I get it. I don't envy you guys one bit, but do what you can for WP, okay? He'd never hurt a fly. He has to be innocent. Don't worry, leave it to us. Wow, look at that camera. It must cost a ton, so don't touch it. Better than I thought. Alright, same line before. Looks like a backdrop for a stage. This must be used in the Steel Samurai show. Of course! That's the mountain! Neo Fujiyama! Doesn't the Steel Samurai take place in Old Tokyo? Can you even see Mount Fuji from there? Not Old Tokyo, Nick. Neo Old Tokyo. Oh, right. Look! A ladder. That's a step ladder. So, what's the difference? You need to stop judging things based on narrow-minded cultural assumptions, Nick. Right. Sorry. This girl is out there. Hey, look! That's the chair the director sits in. I've always wanted to sit in one of these. Hey, Nick, take a look at that. One of those black and white boards they clap at the start of filming. And look, a megaphone. A real live megaphone. Ready, Nick? Action! This girl is more troubled than I thought. What's this? That's for reflecting light. They call it a reflecting screen or something like that. The assistant holds it during filming. Huh. What? Where's your enthusiasm for all things entertainment? Well, lighting is fine, but I'd want to be the director. Or maybe the Steel Samurai. I think she's just being serious. They outlined where Jack Hammer's body lay with tape. His body was found still inside the evil magistrate costume. I guess that's why the head part looks like a helmet. Funny, I expected a spear stabbing would leave at least a few bloodstains. I guess the costume must absorb most of it. Could you tell me anything about the day of the murder? Yes, I was in the studio the whole day. I was the only assistant on staff that day, you see. Only one assistant? Yes, well, the studio isn't doing well right now. And yesterday was the only rehearsal for our action sequences. Oh, I see. In the morning, we went through the action sequences in the employee area. WP and Hammer were there, along with everyone else. The employee area, that's where Power's dressing room is, right? Yes, that's the place. After eating lunch there, Mr. Hammer went to Studio 1. Then I saw WP go into his dressing room. But I didn't see either of them after that. Did you know that Mr. Powers was sleeping in his room? No, I wouldn't go in there unless I had some urgent message for him. I mean, it's his private... What kind of girl do you think I am? What kind? No, I'm sure you're a fine girl. I'm sorry. So much for getting a confirmation of Power's alibi. What do we do, Nick? We haven't found anything. If WP was the only one who came to the studio, then he has to be the killer. They even have a photograph. Sorry, I know you're busy. Not really. Actually, there's been something bothering me. Aha! That's what I'm talking about. A clue! A lead! Well, I don't know about that, but that day, just after noon, I sensed someone was here. You sensed? Yes, several times. Some other studio employees, maybe. No, I don't think so. The only thing we had scheduled was an action scene run-through. I was the only assistant here that day. I have a feeling it was someone from outside. Really? Well, wait, if someone had come in here, wouldn't that security lady have noticed them? Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I don't have any better information than that. Oh, thanks. That helps us a lot. Anything helps. Let's go put that security lady on the spot. So you sense that someone other than the regular film crew is in the studio? Yes, I think. I think doesn't cut it in witness testimony. Nick, what about the security lady? If someone else came into the studio, she must have seen them. Get a good grip on yourself, Algrins. We're about to see your favorite. October 16th, Global Studios main gate. What? You're still here? Really? You look as though you've seen a ghost. What? I saw that suspicious look on your face. I wanted to ask you again about yesterday. You came here at 1 p.m., correct? And the estimated time of Hammer's death was 2:30. Are you sure that Powers was the only one to go through here between those times? Sure as can be. But we have a witness who thinks there was someone from outside here that day. What? Are you absolutely sure you were here watching the whole time? Ma'am? Who was it? Who told you that? Who dares question me? See? Alright, you better tell me quick, you spiky-haired cretin. Someone's been complaining about the work I do, eh? We were just talking to the assistant in Studio 1. Her! She's not even a full-time employee! All you youngins are alike nowadays. Running your mouths like tomorrow saying the other thing. Well, let me tell you a new thing or two about respecting your elders. Back in the day, we did crying shame they used today with the... Rah! She left. Well, Nick, this is our chance to do what we can without her looking over our shoulders. I do kind of wish that I had the option of running it ahead, because like that goes by really quick and it would be fun to read out. I'm gonna see. I'm hoping this doesn't result in a I'm hoping this doesn't result in a like a problem for the VOD, but I'm gonna see if I can find a bit from The Simpsons. Yeah, this is an absolute masterclass in terms of what you'll know which of the voices you'll know which of the voices I'm thinking of when you hear this, but this is an absolute masterclass in terms of voice acting, and I genuinely hope it was all improvised. I have no idea if it was though.
Son, you wait here while Daddy tries to talk some sense into this raving derelict. Slow down. Get out of there. These cocks stole every idea I ever had. He came into my room. Who's been stealing your thoughts? And they put everything. Did you ever read the old curiosity shop? They made that with a John Gilligan.
Alfred Hitchcock stole every idea I ever had. He came into my room, took all my thoughts. Anyways, yeah. So, pretty sure that's the same voice actor who does Homer, actually. The computer that runs the studio. So, anyways, that's kind of what I have in mind. Like, clearly, I'm not going to try and do that, and obviously, there's a different rant that Old Bag does, but. Whenever I see like text go by really quick like that, I almost always have the raving derelict from that old Simpsons episode go into my head. I'm pretty sure you can do that with almost any text. We only have like one kind of thread in chat, but I feel. Oh, sorry, just give me a second here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure even with a unified kind of chat, you can probably make it sound raving derelict. Can you not touch all the evidence, please? Penny, she has a name. She's guilty. Penny's written as Spider-Man, maybe. Old Bag. Maybe not the ghost, but Jack Ellington, surely. Holy shit, she was cracking fast on those text boxes. Ruffle, you channeled pretty well. It was close. How was that as an approximation of you, Algren? This is I'll walk around with you every day, providing your your voiceover. All right, the computer that runs the studio security cameras. Mick, maybe we can see that photo of Powers with this computer. Yeah, maybe. Should I try the computer? Okay, let's give it a try. You know how to work these things, Nick. Looks like I just have to enter a few numbers. Oh! Let's see. First, I need the date of the murder. Looks like this camera turned on at 1 p.m. that day. 1. That was when the security lady arrived at the guard station. Please enter the number of the security camera. I think it was 307. There. Entered. Hey, I printed out the data for that day. Let's see what we got. Huh? How is this a picture of Will Powers? Well, he's the one who always wears that suit. I guess that's why the security lady thought it was him. I would imagine the detective was very happy with this as photo as evidence. Something's printed on the back. Huh? October 15th, 2 p.m. Photo 2. What does that mean? Maybe there's more photo data from that day. Nope, that's the only one in the computer. Hey, hey, Nick. Can't we use this photo as evidence for the trial? Yeah. We'll put that security later in her place with this. Right. We'll put her in her place. Hey, that's what I said. Anyway, let's show her this photo and see what she says. Wait, let's not. Why not? It's never a good idea to reveal your hand to the enemy too soon. Nick, you're craftier than I gave you credit for. Why, you could be the next evil magistrate. Hey, why do I have to be the villain? Relax, it was just a joke. So are we done for today? I think this photo is what we needed for the trial. Still, it'd be better if we had some idea of who the real killer was. Maybe it really is the security lady. To be continued. All right, I am going to save here. I think we've got enough time to at least do the next day. If it's a 3-day trial, then I'm going to have a little bit of trouble, but I do need a quick break. I'm feeling a little, not exactly woozy, but I could just use, it was a busy day today, so I kind of just need to get up and stretch, and otherwise, I don't know, not sit in front of a computer. So if you can all bear with me, I will put up the break screen. I'll try not to keep it too long. I won't like make a coffee or anything like that, but I don't know. I do. Maybe I'll get like a water or just take a quick minute to shake the cobwebs out. Because I feel like I'm going to be a bit behind on getting it done. If there's interest in seeing any of the Canadian legal stuff, I'm happy to do a small intermission. But I don't know, maybe trying to push forward a little bit of progress is the right call. I'm not sure. Anyways, I'll try to be back as quickly as I can. But in the meantime, perhaps now's a good time for you to get up, have a stretch. Otherwise, take care of yourselves, and I will see you in a little bit. Diluted Daybreak, you chose a great time to stop by. I don't know if any of you people are still here or if you just started. But thank you very much. And I'm sorry I wasn't here to catch your raid. I will be getting out of the save screen in just a minute. Where are we? So for those of you not familiar with Diluted Daybreak, this is a broadcaster who I actually rather found me through Brace Yourself's wonderful Rift of the Necrodancer. So I was streaming the demo back when it had a demo. I don't actually, do they still have a demo? I'm curious. Fancy that. They still have a demo. But you should buy it. It's like 26 Canadian. It's not that much. But anyways, stop by. Absolutely delightful to have inside of chat. But I didn't realize at the time, I think I eventually figured out that they were a broadcaster. But I was... or no, sorry, it was a raid, so I must have known, but I didn't quite know the full extent of what Diluted did. So I know your stream title from today said that you were reaching for mediocrity, but I will say to those of you who like Rift of the Necrodancer, Diluted Daybreak definitely plays it at quite a high level. So, and does sort of chase down various I want to say not achievements, ranks on the leaderboards and such. Also, just an absolute delight to have in chat and a delightful personality on stream. I will also mention that I've seen Oblivion, the original Oblivion, although I'm sure you've played the remaster at this point, along with a few other games, but I'll definitely say Rift of the Necrodancer is the one that's memorable to me, just because that's how Diluted originally found the channel. Has been a lot of fun to have during the Ace Attorney broadcasts. I think it brings a lot of love for this game and inside of the chat. And of course, I'm experiencing it for the very first time, so that's a perk for me. We cleared another impossible difficulty chart. Congratulations. I did. I've got a couple people who occasionally stop by, and you'll like notice the only thing they ever say is, "I'm here for a lurk," and I was like, just. You literally say nothing. You literally say nothing else. Like, just don't bother. So I try not to do that to Diluted Daybreak, but I do occasionally sneak in and watch. And I usually know I'm going to be broadcasting shortly after, so I don't say hi. Mostly because I don't want to say hi and then get like a shout out and then be like, okay, see ya. But I did actually see you do... I saw you get like 100% on what looked like a very, very tricky chart. And I realized that for you, some of it is about, also, hello, is it Ascani system or anyways, I'm going to say Ascani system. but yeah, anyways, I have a lot of fun hanging out with Diluted. And it's always nice to see the raid. So thank you. So I did threaten some Canadian legal facts, but what I'll do is I'll try and make a little bit more progress through the day or through the case. If we have some time, I'll do it, but maybe I'll make sure that I do that for the next stream if I fall too far behind. October 18th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Gotcha. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well. I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well, I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would briefly describe the case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studios, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there's a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. After lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. They really like reminding us of his name. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. On account of death! The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to the whole thing again? Once more, with feeling. I'm sorry, could you describe that one more time? I should have known it would be you, pal. Fine. Once more for the mentally challenged lawyer. Yeah, live it up while you can, Gumshoe. Okay, they're really going to do this all over again. All right. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studio was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there's a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. She doesn't get a name. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security later, what's her name, got to the card station. Now jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to the whole thing again? I think I could probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record. The spear was found stuck in the chest of the victim. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Will the witness declare her name? My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Oh, dearie, no need for you to be so embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting this witness to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. When I was young, there was Oldbag, but not really still. How do other children would you believe it? But this was by the captain of the chess team. He called me Oldbag. Well, I just cried because... Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I am so screwed. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony? Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? You see, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from there until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30, right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, the man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. You saw the defendant then, Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, the man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. So you saw Mr. Powers. That's what I said. Got wax in your ears, Sonny? Nick, this is your chance. Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon. I'll say it again. It was him. Allow me to present you my attorney's badge. Alright, I really messed that up. Let me get this straight, old bag. Ms. Oldbag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Ms. Oldbag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't. I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. No one in this court is accusing you of that, Miss Witness. He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Nosy old man. Of course I have proof. What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised. The prosecution would like to ask the witness, please make known all of the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know that everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me, this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. Wow, old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof, then. I never say anything. I don't mean, mind you. Sorry, I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprayed his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg. See? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? So he had sprained his ankle. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Okay, I really should, but... Wait for Snapper! I haven't even said anything yet. I'll have you know I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Everything I've said is on the straight and narrow. The up and up. Youth today always wondering about each other, pointing fingers and all that. It's enough to make an old lady want to cry. Mr. Wright, please, for all of our sakes, try not to upset the witness. I think Edgeworth has met his match. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, who was present at the run-through? Well, let's see. There was Powers, he's the Steel Samurai. Then poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate. And me. And what exactly were you doing? Observing. Just observing. What about the assistant? Oh, she was off moving backdrops around and such. So, she didn't say she was, did she say she was doing errands around this time? So she didn't see the run-through then. I saw Powers trip and fall. Trip and fall. Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better. I kissed it where it hurt. Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You may continue your testimony. He broke one of the props and it was a big mess. He broke a prop? Sure did. His own samurai spear. A samurai spear? The murder weapon? Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it. This strikes me as a significant detail. I better write this down in the court record. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Thus the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot. Okay. I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there is one thing that bothers me. Hey, Izzy TARDIS, how you doing? Which is... where's the Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes. And it is clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure you're sure, Your Honor? Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So, if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? Hold it! How do you know that? Huh? Didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the young detective. And then, after some rubbish about being a secret pal, he told me everything. I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officer's fondness for donuts. The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all. Nobody suspicious looking. Right. No one else went there. What about before you got to the guard station? You mean before 1? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them. Are you sure? The witness has answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness. That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy. Edgy boy. I think we should just hold on to the reaction for a little bit. Oh, Windbag sure has balls. Or, you know what I mean. Old windbags have a way of skipping over important details, after all. Or for that matter, entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps. The time of... alright. So let's take a quick minute. So we've got the autopsy report. It's not immediately clear to me as to whether or not that is the natural spear or the duct tape on it. Huh. For some reason, I am feeling very, very slow. So if we present the autopsy report, it'll... Oh, sorry. I got the wrong menu up. So the autopsy report just seems to confirm that, so I'm not entirely sure that's... Right. Actually, I guess there's also the possibility that somebody came from Studio 2. So maybe we'll try that. Well, then there's also the other possibility that it isn't actually Will Powers, but I'm going to try... Witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor, but it's not specific, so I got it wrong. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr. Wright. Ugh, I must be on the wrong track. So the other challenge here, I think I already challenged this. Yeah. It'd be a little weird if I had to use the photo again, but it's the only one that's really coming to mind. And I know I've been a little scared because of the the penalties. We haven't really lost a case yet, but so well, we can try. Oops. I don't think it will do the trick that... Hold on. Look at this photograph one more... Okay, it is the photograph. This photo was taken by a camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words October 15th, 2 p.m. Photo 2. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says, Photo 2. Photo 2. The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo 1 if it really was the only photo? Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not one, but 2 people went to the studio that day. And yet there is only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. Huh? Me? You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But a camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Oh, well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help! Huh? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Huh, some help you are, you whippersnapper too! Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate? Someone other than the Steel Samurai? Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. I see. Your testimony, please. The other person. Every day, after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it. Right, anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin your cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Oh, yeah? Another job. That's right. I check all the people that pass by the main gate that day. I look closely at every one of those photos that the security camera takes. Do you back up all the security camera data? Well, they keep telling me to, yes. But those computers are just so frustrating. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces, for the most part. For the most part. This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. Well, I didn't touch the suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Well, who in the heck was in the photo you erased? A fanboy. Fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks, if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows anywhere. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. Oh, so we should be looking for an Among Us character. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside, and, well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain. I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers. Kids? So on the photo that you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade? Oh yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade? I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I'd think. It's quite heavy. Right, as I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Heck, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there, that makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. The court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. October 18th, 11:08 a.m., District Court, Defendant, Lobby number 3. By the way, a few of you are talking about the different reactions. My favorite is still the judge with sort of like the headlights for eyes. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? Doesn't look good. The only likely suspect right now. Heck! What are you gonna do? First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studio was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts. The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order! Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great, as if the stakes weren't high enough. So who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? So this is the tricky part, right? Because it could be the security lady or it could be the assistant girl. Now, I don't think we've seen any account of the assistant girl, so I think it's slightly more likely between the two. But the grade school boy, I think they've kind of decided... I don't know, the assistant... See, this is the tricky one. I'm trying to take the logic of the game. The thing I'm thinking of is the security lady is probably the more likely to be guilty because of the fact that she was in possession of the weapon and such. The assistant girl kind of comes out of nowhere. It was a security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There's only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. Security lady, Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper? Oh, so it seems I was right. Order! Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you! Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume, then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simply, Your Honor, she knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right there. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. That's odd. Isn't this part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something! What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. I mean, I don't know if we actually think she did it. Nah, go for it. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive, too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went into the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler, though, you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Or is it not nice to, is it be nice to kids and mean to your elders day, whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed. And let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder? I mean, because the well, it does say it's the murder weapon, but it's the only... This is just a Hail Mary. Your Honor, the murder weapon was the samurai spear. That very spear is shown here in this photo. How could the boy have taken the spear? It's impossible. I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? Windbag. Speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. The court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy. What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. Wait a second. I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me? I'm talking. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is all this about? Have you omitted something for your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not talk about? By whom? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend that they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're gonna go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the Oldbag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. So you were told not to talk. That's right, by the studio and the TV bigwigs, no less. Why didn't I hear about this? Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We're all in on it. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Whomst was at the studios? Well, the director and the producer, for starters. The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? Well, if you look at the guide map, the one that I got penalized for showing before, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but they said they had nothing to do with it, see? Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder. I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side. So you got your bonus and you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. I guess there's no harm in getting as much info as I can. So they were actually in the studio. Yes, the whole day. When they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came. I'll kill this woman, I swear it. I feel sorry for Edgeworth, almost. She really left him hanging on this one. If you're gonna go accusing me, I'm not gonna get away scot-free. Them? Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer, for starters. The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So where were these people? I'm just... Let me move on. I'm sorry for pressing. Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends today's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. The court is adjourned. October 18th, 1:04 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Aw, really? It's nothing. Grin. Or should I... Well, we'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that steel samurai costume? Could it really have been the old windbag? Lord Gloom, how you doing tonight? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor old windbag. I kind of feel sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right, we'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks. Thanks, guys. To be continued. So I don't have that much time left, and I do actually have to be up pretty early tomorrow, so I'll try and make a bit more progress. But it probably won't be longer than half an hour. Okay. I thought I would just push ahead. October 18th, Wright & Co. Law Offices. Whew, what a day. This is no time for relaxing, Nick. Say, you think WP's got a chance? I guess that really depends on the people we found out about in today's trial. The director and the producer? Yeah, them. What are you doing here then? Let's get to the studios. It's a nice day outside. The hotel across the way is always full these days. There's the bellboy happily cleaning the room. I think these are all the same as before. Mia's favorite potted plant. Maya has been watering it so much lately it looks a little swollen. She's either trying to make it grow or she's perfecting her water torture technique. A poster of an old movie that Mia liked. I was thinking I should go see it myself, then I realized that the poster doesn't actually say the title of the movie. There's a horrendous amount of legal books here. Scarier still is the thought that I have to read all of these now. Mia's desk? Actually, it's my desk now. Sitting here always makes me feel like a professional. What do you think we should do? What do I... Huh? Why don't we do what you just said? I gotta get the scoop on this director and producer. Oh, right. There's no point hanging out here. That's what I've been saying! Let's get to those studios pronto! You don't have enough information to make the case yet. Exactly the same thing you said yesterday. Just admit it. You don't have a clue what happened. There's not enough information. I'll go to the detention center just to see. October 18th, detention center visitors room. Oh, Mr. Wright. Thank you for earlier. Not at all. We got lucky, to tell the truth. You can say that again. Let's not. So, WP, do you have any leads that might get us going in the right direction? Sorry, but no. Sure to tell us anything that comes to mind, no matter how small. You can't rely on getting lucky again tomorrow. Yes. Do fanboys sneak into the studios often? No, not that I know of. That security lady's pretty strict with them. But in today's testimony, she didn't say they were. Didn't she say they were often hanging around? The kids really, really love the Steel Samurai. They sneak past when she's not looking, I guess. Was the director present at the morning run-through? Yes, he was. He was directing how the Steel Samurai and the evil magistrate should move. Why didn't you tell us that before? Well, the studio asked us to keep quiet. That has nothing to do with this. I hate to repeat myself, but Nick here is a newbie lawyer, fresh off the bar. When he loses, he's gonna lose big. I see. Whose side is she on? You aren't hiding anything else from us, are you? No, sure hope not. October 18th, 2:16 p.m., Global Studios main gate. No one's here. Right, now that they have Miss Oldbag in custody. I guess they don't have anyone else to replace her. Hey, in the guard station, look! She left her donuts. What? I wasn't gonna eat them. I don't think there's anything we'll get from the computer yet, but the computer that runs the studio security cameras. Oh, looks like it's been turned off for the day. Start in the employee area and then move into the studios. Look, it's that assistant girl. Hey! Hi, WP's lawyers, right? I heard about the trial. Great job, guys. Oh? Oh ho ho, don't mention it. Is it true they caught the security lady? Oh. Oh ho ho ho. Actually, she just called me. She told me to cover up that drain. You mean that one? Wow, what a mess. I know. I'm not so good with handiwork. Some assistant, right? Yeah, but you do work on the props and the backdrops, right? Right. Just Lots of times they end up looking worse than they did before I fixed them. Oh? Oh! Well, I'm sure these things happen. Nothing to worry yourself about. You're right. I won't. Personally, I think she should worry at least a little bit more. If you'll excuse me, I have to go to the guard station. I'm supposed to fill in for Miss Oldbag. Right. See you later, then. Good luck with your investigation. So the fanboy they were talking about in the trial today, he came in through that drain? So it seems. I guess they covered it up in a hurry. Hey, Nick! If that drain's covered, the boy won't be able to get in. Yeah, I think that was the idea. I feel kind of sorry for him, though, don't you? Well, you want to rip the grate off? Really, Nick? We can? Oh, she's serious? Uh-oh. I think we should leave it on. They only just repaired it. And if we take it off, that assistant will get yelled at by you-know-who. Yeah, I guess so. Wow, I didn't expect her to take it that hard. There's a half-finished backdrop for a stage here. Looks like a castle. Probably neo-old Tokyo castle. Looks like one of those electric-powered bicycles. I don't know about these. I mean, what's the point? Makes it a lot easier to go up hills. Don't people cycle to get exercise? The remains of the other day's lunches are scattered around. Everyone was probably too shocked to clean up. There's a T-bone on one of the plates, minus the steak. Pretty sure we already saw a ladder joke, Diluted Daybreak, but if this is the one you're thinking of, it's not selectable. The grate that used to cover the drain. It's a little bent. I don't think it would fit if I tried to put it back on. October 18th, Global Studios dressing room. This is where the steel samurai costume was on the day of the murder. That's what Mr. Powers says, at least. I guess they snuck in and took it while he was sleeping. Nick, what if Mr. Powers hadn't been sleeping? I wonder what the killer was planning on doing then. Huh. She's got a point. There's some regular suits in among the costumes here. Those must be Mr. Powers' personal clothes. There's a bunch of snacks on the table. They must give these to the employees. Some tea and cookies. Wait, Nick! What now? These snacks! They passed the expiration date. Then don't eat them. Oh, they're snacks. They're meant to be eaten. Looks like someone was sleeping here. Maybe Powers did take a nap here like he said. It's locked. Guess he doesn't open his window much. It's kind of dusty outside. They always have mirrors like this in dressing rooms. I see my hair is still nice and spiky, just how I like it. There's an array of cosmetics here. According to Maya, that wig was used in some old TV show. Samurai Boogie Woogie! Nick, get with the picture. Look, explain to me how you can identify a show just by seeing a wig. I kind of like samurai movies. Kinda. It would be kind of nice if there's a little more variety in terms of the dialogue here, just because it's not immediately clear what extra things you should be examining. But Mr. Powers' bag. I wonder what's inside. Hey, supermarket tabloids? Wow, I'm kind of shocked. Hi, Ed, leave those alone. Wolfmen found on Mars? I'll have to buy that issue. October 18th, Studio 1 entrance. Hey, Nick. Looks like Detective Gumshoe isn't here today. You're right. He's probably up to his neck in paperwork after the commotion at today's trial. So, Nick, remember that Studio 2 we heard about at the trial today? It was down that path with the fallen tree, right? Yeah, I think that's what they said. Maybe the director and the rest of them are there today? Now's our chance, Nick. Let's check it out. So I'll still check everything just because that is my nature, but I'm bushed. Maybe I'll sit down here for a bit. This is exactly why I don't want to get old, ever. Hey, I'm still young. I'm just tired. Nick, when you start having to say I'm still young, you know it's all over. But I am still young. That's a security camera that automatically takes pictures of people here. Took 2 pictures on the day of the murder before the actual time of death. One of them was a Steel Samurai, the other was a grade school boy. It doesn't seem to be switched on today. Studio mascot. Apparently it's a monkey of some kind. I've never seen a monkey with a nose like that before. Why don't they put his head back on? Maybe we should ask that assistant? I'm not sure we really want her fixing anything. And you'd probably need a crane to move that thing. Probably so. In the trial, they said Studio 2 was down this path. The monkey head is in the way, but we should be able to get by it without a problem. The monkey head is real heavy. Well, it did knock that tree over when it fell. Both these, the monkey head and the tree, fell on the day of the murder, didn't they? Yeah, that's what Detective Gumshoe said. Entrance to Studio 1. This is the studio where they found Jackhammer's body. October 18th, Studio 2 entrance. This is Studio 2? I thought so. Doesn't really look much like a studio, does it? No, that it does not. Hey, there's a trailer over there. It's pretty sturdy for a movie set trailer. Are we sure this is a studio? These look like materials for making a movie set. I've been sitting here for quite some time. This might as well be a junkyard. There's some flowers here. Wow, so pretty. They're taking good care of these. Don't get so close. That fence looks dangerous. On closer inspection, this trailer looks like it's been here for a while. I don't think this is part of some temporary film set. Nick, let's go inside. Think it's okay? Oh well, it's locked. Aw, shucks. You know what? I'm going to take one more look at that. I feel like I should be a little... Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so we'll at least look at these. Looks like 2 people ate here. There's nothing left on the plates. Hey, so they ate T-bone steaks too. What is it with steaks around here? Hey, there's always room for steak. But something does seem out of place. What? I don't know. Just feels odd. An incinerator. Apparently, they just put this one in. It's already covered in soot. They must not clean it much. A light van for moving staff and equipment around. They've kept it in pretty good shape. Looks like it'd run fine. Well, let's go for a drive. Sure, if I had a license. Nick, you don't have a driver's license? But look, I have this. Why are you showing me your attorney's badge, Nick? So that's kind of funny that it showed me 2 different, it actually showed me 2 different screens for this area. October 18th, Studio 1. I don't really want to be in here. Yeah, it is a murder scene. I'm gonna go someplace else. Nick? That's for reflecting light. They call it a reflecting screen or something like that. Huh. What? What's your enthusiasm for all things entertainment? Well, lighting is fine, but I'd want to be the director. Or maybe the Steel Samurai. I think she's being serious. Hey, look! That's the chair the director sits in. I always wanted to sit in one of these. Hey, Nick, take a look at that. One of those black and white boards they clap at the start of filming. And look! A megaphone! A real live megaphone! Ready, Nick? Action! This girl is more troubled than I thought. They outlined where Jack Hammer's body lay with tape. His body was found still inside the evil magistrate costume. I guess that's why the head part looks like a helmet. Funny, I expected a spear stabbing would leave at least a few bloodstains. I guess the costume must have absorbed most of it. So far this is all the same. Wow, look at that camera. Must cost a ton. Yeah, so don't touch it. Hey, smile, Nick. You're a star. Stop that. Looks like a backdrop for a stage. This must be used in the Steel Samurai show. Of course, it's the mountain, Neo Fujiyama. Doesn't the Steel Samurai take place in old Tokyo? Can you even see Mount Fuji from there? Not old Tokyo, Nick. Neo old Tokyo. So I guess we've seen all of the items in this room, right? I am nothing if not serving the fans. Look, a ladder. That's a step ladder. So what's the difference? You need to stop judging things based on narrow-minded cultural assumptions, Nick. Right. Sorry. This girl is out there. Yep, we already did the... So I was thinking we might see the prop girl again. An overhead map of the studios. Right from here is the employee area. To the left are the actual film studios. The main entrance to the studios. They probably have a police officer on patrol out there. Looks like a studio van. They probably use it to carry around film equipment. So I'm wondering if... I'm going to talk at the detention center, but I have a feeling that they're actually trying to push me towards taking off the covering. Yeah. Except that now I don't have the option, so that can't be it. Wait. Okay, yeah, we've done all these. Oh, Q for slide. My bad. So the fanboy they were talking about in the trial today came in through the drain? So it seems. I guess they covered it up in a hurry. Hey, Nick. That drain's covered. The boy won't be able to get in. Yeah, I think that was the idea. Feel kind of sorry for him, though. Don't you? What, you want to rip the grate off? Really, Nick? We can? Oh, she's serious. Uh-oh. Well, I guess some things are just made to be broken. Yay! You know, Nick, you're pretty swell sometimes. Sometimes. Yeah! There. That should make the kids happy. The things we do. The drain grate is off. And I know who did it. Now the kids will be able to come in again. Does it make you feel great to do a good deed like that? Must be nice to live so free of guilt. Oh, so that wasn't necessary. Fair enough. So yeah, the fact that there was a slide, for some reason I completely blanked on that, so we'll take a quick... Oh, hello. Ho-ho, you look like a little out of place. It's the clothes, isn't it? I thought my camo vest might do the trick. Kind of an alternative guard fashion thing. So, how are the studios doing? There's police wandering around everywhere. It's terrible. Don't even let me clean up. Don't want me disturbing evidence. I haven't even cleaned up our lunch plates from the day of the murder. I mean those plates with the steak bones left over on them in the employee area? Yeah, can you believe it? Do kids sneak in here a lot? Well, I don't think there's many of them, but I do see one in particular a bunch. He's always gawking at the sets or snapping pictures. You should see old Windbag's eyes flash when she sees him. She has a bit of trouble catching him, though. I heard something at the trial today. They said that the director and producer were here on the day of the murder. Oh, sorry. I was in the prop storage room, so I didn't see them. I guess they were here, though. The studio had seemed pretty eager to keep us quiet. So they were trying to protect the director. More the producer, really. The producer's our real star here. She saved these studios from the brink of disaster and kept them running. I don't think we'd still be in business if it weren't for that producer. The producer, huh? I don't think this will do anything, but I'm kind of curious if she winds up being the one fixing the spear. I would say no because she's not good at repair, but... So you work with props, right? About the murder weapon. You mean the samurai spear? Yeah, it's a prop, but it's still pretty heavy. I hate having to carry that thing around. So you'd have to be pretty strong to use that as a weapon, it sounds like. Why is Mr. Powers the only person I can think of? This place is deserted. Eek! Nick! What was that noise? It sounded like it came from inside the trailer. Someone must be inside. Hello? No answer. Pretty suspicious if you ask me, Nick. Let's go in. I'm not sure we should be barging in. Huh? It's locked. What? Don't we have a key? No, but there's probably one in the guard station at the main gate. Then what are we waiting for? Let's borrow it! If they'll let us. Security guard station. I can see the computer that runs the security cameras. Oh, please don't touch anything in there. The security lady would knock stuffing out of me if she knew. I really want the key into that trailer. Maybe next time. Okay, so we gotta get rid of her somehow. I can't see this helping, but... Oh, they gave a lawyer one of those key cards? Well, I'm sort of borrowing it. I see. Better be careful not to lose that. They're very strict about those key cards here. Guess they're pretty good about keeping these out of the outsider's hands. Thanks, I'll be careful. I'm not really sure there's much more that I can do with this. I was just trying to think of things I could do to get her going to a different place. I'm also wondering if this is a good place to end it, because I obviously have more to do on the investigation, and this does serve as kind of a natural break in the story. I think I will actually do that, because I would only have less than 10 minutes left anyway, so this seems like a decent equilibrium point. move on to. So the plan will be, I should be back to this on Wednesday, all things going well. Let me actually just take a quick minute to look at the calendar. So I don't think there are... I don't think there's any holidays next month. So, yeah, the plan should be I'll try and do Ace Attorney on the Mondays and Wednesdays where I can sort of have two days, one after the other. It seems like I can't quite get through a full investigation in one session. Maybe if I stop chatting. But I think there's probably a couple ways that I can do this. So I did want to share some of the Canadian, like every once in a while, I'll just kind of search for some Canadian legal stuff as the before the stream starts. But I also don't want to miss out on the game. So maybe what I'll do as an intermission between episodes, I'll maybe close with that on Wednesday. So Wednesday I should be back to this. On Friday we'll be back to Cyberpunk. And then I'm not sure, next week I might change it up just so that I can do a little bit more of like Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop and such. But I'll probably figure those out at the time. The only thing that'll change is on the weeks, the third Wednesday of the month, I have a local game dev meetup. So that will definitely be something where I don't do Ace Attorney just so that I can keep the episodes in order, or at least in order in my mind. So let me just take a quick second here and see if I can host someone. We do have a few people. So I am going to leave you in the capable hands of Vesper Fortune VT. He is in fact the one who gifted the Ace Attorney trilogy to me. This is the first time I'm going through... I'm actually going through the game. So he is currently playing a game called The Letter. He's a very friendly broadcaster. Again, somebody who gave a gift that I think a few people are enjoying. I'm certainly enjoying my first run through the Ace Attorney series, something I was familiar with through its reputation, but not through its gameplay. But Vesper does a little bit of everything. He does video essays on sort of the... his most recent one was on the Satanic Panic. This is a few months ago now, though. But he also does a lot of Persona, does a lot of indie games. I actually originally found him through the Weather Factory games, through Cultist Simulator. But he's a very friendly broadcaster, somebody who's a lot of fun to have around the side of the chat, a bit like Diluted Daybreak. And of course, the person who is responsible for me playing the game. So he seems like a good one to host. I will leave you in his capable hands rather than, I think if I wait long enough, he might actually try hosting here. So have a good night, everybody. I will see you on Wednesday, likely for more Ace Attorney, and then on Friday for Cyberpunk. Until then, take care.